Today's lecture will go over pages 329 to 331. Before we get going, let's do a little review over the three types of appeals: credibility, reason, and emotion. Question number 1, what appeal focuses on logic and a good argument? I'll give you a few seconds to think about this. Make your best guess. Best answer is the middle one, reason. Let's look at the next question. What appeal focuses on the speaker's reputations and morals? The best answer is a credibility. Credibility focuses on the speaker. Last question. What appeal focuses on a speaker's motivation? This also is credibility because, again, it's all about the speaker. So let's look at some examples in ads. Which appeal is most prominent here? Credibility, reason, or emotional appeal? Probably the strongest answer here is emotional appeal, because we feel the emotion of relaxation, of being on a beach, about having no worries. You could also make an argument for reason, because it's guaranteed. Let's try another one. Which appeal is most prominent here? Credibility, reason, or emotion? The best answer here is probably credibility, because they're showing you this award that they've won and shows you how good of a car builder that they are. Which appeal is most prominent here? Credibility, emotion, or reason? Again, they're probably building on their credibility, but they're using this metaphor of the big dog, us, and they're looking down on the other companies, the little dogs, them. Which appeal is most prominent? Credibility, reason, or emotion? The strongest appeal here is reason. They focus on the low cost, 1% credit at closing. They focus on a profitable and economic solution to student housing. They focus on the great location. They try to provide a lot of reasons of why you should look into their business. Which appeal is most prominent here? You could have two possible answers. One might be credibility. BMW, just by having that logo, has huge credibility behind it. They're a very, very well-known car dealer. However, you also have luxury, convenient, fast. Those are all words used to play on your emotions. What appeal is most prominent here? You have a couple different appeals. One could be emotion. These plastic surgeons understand. They make you try to feel comfortable. However, they also have this animation system down at the bottom, and this could provide a reason for you to trust them and to go to their business. We're going to skip over 10.4. These are some vocab reviews. So let's move into page 329, which is persuading an audience. So we're looking at your audience reactions. Before you try to persuade someone, you need to think about your audience. Oh, that might be a whole room of people, or it might just be a coworker. You can just have an audience of one, but you need to think about that audience before you prepare your message. If you want to try to talk your coworker into switching shifts with you, you want to think about that coworker and about what would be the best way to persuade him or her. And then you're going to adapt to your audience. And what you want to think about is the 3 types of reactions he or she or they might have: favorable, no opinion, or opposing opinion. The easiest kind of audience to talk to is a favorable opinion, an audience who already favors your opinion, such as a speech promoting beef at a cattle convention. Or if you know a coworker who always loves to switch shifts with you, that would be a favorable opinion audience. You know that it'll probably be easy to switch. Your second type of audience is the one of no opinion. They may be uninformed, or they might have apathy, which is complete laziness. Sometimes you have to first create interest to get them involved. If you were going to speak about beef at just a regular food convention, they may be people who don't necessarily have an opinion about beef. The third type is the hardest type to persuade, and that's an opposing opinion. This is an audience that is very negative or extremely hostile. If you're going to give a speech about the benefits of eating beef at a vegetarian convention or a PETA convention, that would be an audience with opposing opinions. If you want to switch shifts with a coworker who you really don't get along with, or you know would hate to switch shifts with you, but they're your last hope, that would be a person with an opposing opinion. Now, persuading this type of audience is very difficult. You may not change their minds at all at once. One key to do this is when you present to them, try to find one thing that they need, one unmet need, and then find a way that you can meet that need. What's most important when you're dealing with this type of audience is don't call names, don't be extreme, don't lose your temper. Know going in that they are going to be more resistant and unwilling to listen. We're going to move into the 4 types of conflict, and this starts on page 330. The first kind of conflict is a pseudo-conflict. And a pseudo means fake. So this type of a conflict is not a conflict at all. It's really more of a misunderstanding. Communication, compromise can easily resolve a pseudo-conflict. If you want to see this film, you can go to the class view folder, open up the chapter 10 Pear Deck for Persuading, and you can definitely watch this video. But really, it's just a video about 2 roommates who have a miscommunication about whose turn it is to do the dishes. They simply disagree on whose day it was. So it wasn't a true conflict, it was a pseudo-conflict, just a misunderstanding, a miscommunication. But there's not a disagreement. The second type of a conflict is a problem-solution conflict. And that's where everyone agrees that there is a problem, but they may not agree on the solution. For example, crops need to be protected from insects. Everyone can agree on that. However, the father may want to be organic and not use any chemicals at all. His son wants to use pesticide. That is a problem-solution conflict. The third type of conflict is a values conflict. And this is a disagreement that attacks or affects someone's personal values, those things that are really important in life, such as maybe religion, family, political beliefs. And it can be very difficult to persuade someone to change their beliefs if it involves values. That's why political issues such as abortion, the death penalty, euthanasia are so difficult to resolve because it affects people's values and what they believe about life, and it affects their religious beliefs. If you are going to try to persuade someone with a value that has a values conflict with you, start small. Find one thing that you can all agree on, and then find another thing that you can all agree on. Keep working from there. It isn't all going to change at once. You're probably not going to persuade someone of a values to believe you if they have a values conflict with you, at least not all at one time. It will probably take many conversations before you can truly get someone to switch their mind about a values conflict. The last type of conflict is an ego conflict. And an ego conflict occurs when the people in the conflict think that an argument must have a winner and a loser, and they don't want to be the loser. These are the people who love to argue, and they will argue just for the sake of winning. Even when they might realize that they're wrong, they're going to keep insisting because they simply don't want to lose. Just like dealing with a values conflict, if you're dealing with someone with an ego conflict, find those small facts that you can agree on first, and then move on from there. Again, this is a video that you can watch if you want to go to the class view folder, open up the Persuading Chapter 10 notes and Pear Deck. You could also probably find this on YouTube. I think that's where I found it. But it's a clip from the movie Miracle on Ice, which was about the 1980 hockey team, where these college kids are all brought together to represent the USA. Unfortunately, some of these kids have egos because they're from colleges that had rivalries, and there's a few of them that think that they're better than the other players on the team, and a scuffle ensues. And that's the end of this lecture for today. There is no practice that goes with this lecture, but the next time we'll be talking about managing conflict and the 4 techniques people most often use to deal with conflict.